Welcome to Snooty Podcast.
Point of the regular season for high school football. Region play will separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Snooty Lounge Podcast, and I got a special guest. We coordinate. We're going to call each other the Blue Brothers today, but let me go ahead and do this intro right quick in my handy-dandy flapping notebook. We got Aaron Meaux, WALB Sports Director, valedictorian from the best college that we're going to be discussing, sports director, husband, father, and I got to put this in there that he is a fan of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and introduce. Welcome to the podcast.
What's going on? Appreciate you, Rodney. Man, I'm happy to be here. This has been a long time coming.
Oh, for
Sitting
sure.
down, chop it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So I know you from the West Coast, Sacramento, right?
Yes, sir.
So how was it, because I rode through Modesto and I went to Fresno before. So how is it on the upside side of Cali?
I will say it looks a lot different than Fresno and Modesto.
Okay.
There's a lot more green
Okay.
when you're riding through there. But you know what? Like California, it's a great place. Growing up in Northern California, I had access to a lot of different things. I like it. I kind of equate it to being in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
I was an hour away from the mountains. I was an hour away from the ocean, and it was a city. So I had a good time. I was able to get to different things, but it was kind of still had this small town feel until I got older. Then it, kind of grew into something that I just really didn't like anymore, and ultimately decided, to leave. But I still got a lot of family out there. Growing up in Northern Cali was it was a good place for me.
Oh, for sure. So I know at 3 years old you had a good memory. I know you was like reading off trading cards and names. So tell me, how did that good memory come about of being able to recite names and stuff?
I think that's kind of what started my love for sports, though. My dad had this card collection, and he would just let me look at it, and I'd go through it. And every day was literally just reading players' names: Lawrence Taylor, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, like all these different names. And so his friends would come over, and that was my thing. I was like playing show and tell. I'd run up to him, and I'd be like, this person's the running back for the Cowboys. This person's the running back for the Dolphins. And so I would just recite these names, and they showed me a picture of a player or a team, and I would recite the player. And it really kind of jump-started my love for sports. But I've always had this kind of innate ability to remember, and I still do it now. I'm not a huge note taker. Right. I don't bring notebooks. I don't bring even in our job, right? We talk a lot about sports and names and statistics. I have this innate ability to just retain that information, and it's truly a blessing. As I get older, it's starting to wear off a little bit, so I definitely have to change and shift up. But I've been blessed to have that as part of my arsenal, which has helped me get to where I'm at right now.
So more on the sports background, you get to high school. So I seen you at the All-Star Weekend, so I know you got some basketball in you. What all sports did you really partake in before you went to college?
Really, my love was football, but growing up, I played like the three majors: baseball, basketball, football. I played them all. It's different now. Everybody has like all year round stuff. When I was growing up, I'm an old man. We had seasons. You played basketball when it was basketball season. You played baseball when it was baseball season, and then football. So, but I played all three. I did play soccer when I was younger as well. But the minute I stepped on a football field, it was at the same time as soccer. I fell in love with the pads, man, and I just said, this is my sport. So I stopped playing soccer, played baseball, played football, and played basketball.
So when I was in high school, I mainly wrestled. So I was like 99 pounds at 103. By the time I was a senior, I was at 130. But I kind of want to get into, why did you ultimately choose Full Sail and decided to ultimately go to the best college of, where Dan Patrick will be at?
For me, it's kind of a long story how I got to Full Sail. I didn't join Full Sail like a lot of people that you probably went to school with.
You had a previous job career. You did 12 years using a manager position.
Yeah, so I was in government. I worked in California government. I was a liaison between the Department of Motor Vehicles and the California Highway Patrol. So I dealt with a lot of, how can I say this, critical, depressing things, really. I dealt with a lot of DUIs, driving under influences, kind of ambulance and school bus drivers that were getting released from prison that wanted to get into that certification field, and I had to be the one to determine if they were allowed or not. So I dealt with a lot of stress. It started impacting me mentally at my house, my wife, my kids. And so I literally woke up one day and I was thinking like, man, I got to go to work today. And you hate that feeling when you don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
So I woke up and I went to my computer in my little room, and I sent an email to my boss saying that I'm going to resign.
Wow. What was that feeling of knowing like I'm giving it up, like I'm not doing this no more?
I think most people would have thought it was scary, but I didn't tell my wife. That might have been a little scary because you don't want to have those. You don't want to do those things without telling your significant other. And I have kids and responsibilities, and I made a great wage and salary there. But it just wasn't for me, and I knew it deep down inside, like this is something I had to do. And if I just went to work that day, I would have just pushed it off and never have done it. So I took a leap of faith. I sent the email, and like this pressure that was on my shoulders, like it was gone. I was like, I don't work there no more. Like I did what I was supposed to do. I had no plan, didn't know what I was going to do next, but I called my wife and I said, hey, I just resigned. And I won't tell you what she said because I want to keep it PG. But she said something along the lines of what?
Right.
And then, it was a decision that I made literally in one day. And it was to this day, I will say it was the best decision of my life.
Did you make any phone, did you tell like homeboys, partners, like, did you say anybody like, I'm about to really like quit the job?
I didn't. The closest I got to that was the Friday before because I did this on a Monday.
Okay.
There would have been a lot going on at the job. I was responsible for a number of employees. I've been in management for a long time, dealing with all that. I started packing my stuff that I was going to take home anyways, I think.
Right.
But I kind of added a little bit more to the box. Okay. Everything I needed that I didn't need to go back into that office if I decided to do this.
Wow.
And as I was leaving, I walked out with one of my employees, and she was like, are you never coming back? And I said, we'll see if I'm here on Monday. And that's all I said. And I kind of said bye to people that I needed to say bye to. So I kind of had this feeling inside me, but I didn't tell anybody that I was actually going to do it because I still wasn't 100% sure. And walking through the parking lot that afternoon, I kind of knew. And then waking up that Monday morning, I knew it was official. I was going to do it.
Well, all these years later, I'm looking around. I'm seeing it working out for you. It worked out pretty well.
It is truly the best thing that I've ever done. Outside of having my kids and marrying my wife, it's the best thing that I've ever done. So
I kind of want to dive into the full set aspect. I know you went online. So how was it going online? Because when I went to school there, like we're seeing you like on like our of course like when I'm in Zach class or when I was in of course I read the writer. Sorry about that. I forgot his name, but your name and picture and videos are always in there. So what's it like, doing the online aspect and meeting Ruddy and talking to Gordy and the online aspect?
I think it was definitely a different perspective than you guys had. I never got the opportunity to be in a studio. I never got the opportunity to read off a prompter. But what it did teach me having the online course was I had to do everything myself. And if you've been in MMJ or in local media, you're a one-man band. You're a shooter, you're an editor, you're a writer, you're on camera. And so I felt very comfortable coming to where I'm at now because of that experience. I'd take my little Sony camera, I'd put it up, I'd set my laptop up over it on top of like 8 boxes.
Boxes and everything.
And that was my prompter.
Oh, yeah.
I would go out and have my wife hold the camera and shoot stuff for me. I would interview my son. I would do all these like interesting things because I had never worked with a camera before. I had never been on TV before. I'd really never been in front of a camera like that. And so it was by myself, but I was there with a purpose. And so when I first decided to go to Full Sail, I was driving on the freeway actually trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I was working Uber, working in restaurants. I was bartending. I did all kinds of odd jobs because I felt I needed to be a man. I needed to provide for my family. And I heard this commercial for Full Sail.
Yep.
And I was like, you want to be a sportscaster or whatever? Yep. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I grew up in sports. And so hearing that, I was like, okay, mental note. I kind of put it in the back of my mind. I went home. I was going to take some classes for communications at a local JC. And I heard the commercial again. So I'm like, man, this is a sign from God or something. Yep. And so I looked up the school and I decided to enroll, officially got accepted and all that stuff. And then I started and they sent me all this stuff. It's a camera, a laptop. And I'm like, man,
lunch boxes for real.
I'm like, this is cool, man. And so I just started kind of diving into it. And I always had a purpose. I was never a school kid. You mentioned valedictorian stuff. Man, I was barely making enough to play sports and do all that stuff just to stay on the field because of my grades. And I think when I went, I didn't have a purpose back then. I didn't know what I wanted to do. When I went this time around, I said, I have a focus, I have a purpose. And when I'm driven to do something, nothing gonna stop me.
At what point of what class did you know, like, this is literally like what I really want to do? Because, before camp, we talked about conjuring class, you got tucked with the interviewing, but which class really made you feel like this is my thing right here?
I think it was intro to sportscasting. I think that class where I first had to cut a highlight.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy being a Dallas Cowboys fan. My first highlight that I was given to cut was the Cowboys and the Eagles game. And so I'm cutting the highlight, and I'm like, man, this is cool. I can do this. I'm learning how to edit video. I'm learning how to write to the video. I'm learning how to copy and stuff like that. So I think right then and there I was like, this is something cool. This is something I can get behind. And I grew up watching SportsCenter, watching ESPN, and all these talk shows. And then on the other side of it, I was doing it with my friends already. Like I was already talking sports. We were already chopping it up at games. So I'm like, why not try to make this a career? I felt like I was good at it. I have this innate ability to communicate effectively. I have the ability to retain information. I'm not shy.
Yep.
I'm not really like worried about what people think about me. Mm-hmm. And I think when I figured all that out, I said I can really do this.
So let me go ahead and go to my handy-dandy notebook again because I got to make sure I get all this information right. So when you was a valedictorian, you got so many course director awards. Again, I think I got to do this right here to get all your awards out. So, I mean, I know those awards are very hard to achieve, especially for the school like that. So to have so many course director awards and valedictorian and just Gus Ramsey, who worked at ESPN, is just giving me all these looks. So how was it for you to be able to get, all that clout, what I'm saying, good look like that?
At the time, I was grateful, but I don't really think I ever thought about that. The one that sticks out to me, obviously, is the valedictorian because I was so bad in school. The course director awards were, they were nice. I felt privileged to have them. I respected the teachers and instructors that thought I was worthy of them. But in the moment, it really wasn't about that for me. I just wanted to go into every class and say, I'm going to give it everything I have because I want to be the best at this. And so I thought about that. And so every assignment, every course, I gave everything I had. I would literally edit for hours. It'd be 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm sitting there editing the package over and over again until I felt it was perfect. Now, I will say, they're a little lenient at Full Sail with the awards because I go back and I watch my stuff now, what I was turning in.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm like, man, that was trash. But I put it into perspective as I was just learning.
Right.
And it really was just about effort. And I think a lot of those awards were them recognizing that I was putting in the effort.
Right.
I was going above and beyond what they were asking. And as a student, not getting compensated for that, I didn't have to do that. But I did. And so I think that was them recognizing that. So I am grateful for it. But in the moment, man, I was just so driven to make it to my second career that I really didn't think about it. I did cry on graduation day.
Good, okay.
And I'm an emotional person already, but when I flew to Orlando, walk across that
so at
stage.
least you went down there to get that.
I was not going to miss that because I had never thought I would graduate college. I dropped out of college 4 times.
We
so
both did. Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. I was never a school kid. So when I got to walk across that stage and they were like, you're the valedictorian and Gus Ramsey's there, like I embraced with him, I hugged him, and I just started bawling. And I don't know why, I just did. It was emotional.
And then eventually, from college, you got to get a career. So eventually come to in my opinion, the best city in the 229. So
excuse me.
How did this journey of you finding WLB at the 10 come to you?
Whew. I tell you, it was probably the craziest thing one of the craziest things I've ever gone through. I thought about where I wanted to apply, what kind of jobs I wanted to take. I'm reaching out to Gus Ramsey and Rishi and all these instructors and trying to get some guidance because I really didn't know how to get my foot in the industry. I'm just going like everybody else on job sites and applying for jobs.
Right.
And I get a call one day from Nebraska, Hastings, Nebraska. Okay. And they were trying to offer me a job. And it was like a writing job at first. And they were going to offer me like, $12 an hour. And, I'm from California.
Right.
I got 3 kids,
right.
a wife.
Right.
I'm going to have to move my entire life.
Right.
I can't do that for $12 an hour.
Correct.
And that's a huge pay decrease, obviously, than what I could make in California. But I thought about taking that job because I was like, you know what? Once I'm in, I know I can prove myself.
Right.
I thought about it. I called on it. I thought about it a lot. My wife and I talked about it. I talked to Rishi and I said, hey, it's not really the job I want. Should I entertain this? And some words he said stuck with me. He said, I feel like you are at the point where you don't need to take a job that you don't want. That includes news. That includes a writing job I feel like you can go straight into being a sports reporter. And so I thought about that and I declined the job. Put in some more applications, not hearing nothing, took a couple months off. And then I got a call from Albany, Georgia. And I'm be honest with you, I declined the call 5 times before I picked it up.
For sure.
And
why is that?
I thought it was a bill collector, to be honest. To be honest,
229 bill collector.
I didn't know there was a place called Albany, Georgia.
Right.
And for my folks here, it's Albany. I didn't know that.
Right.
I thought it was in New York. So I kept declining it. And I didn't apply here, so I didn't know. And then finally they kept calling, and I'm like, man, let me just tell these bill collectors I'm not, leave me alone. So I picked it up, and I answered with an attitude. And I'm like, hello? And it's Jerry Goodman, who is the news director there, saying, hey, my name's Jerry Goodman with WALB News 10 in Albany, Georgia. Wanted to reach out, got your information from Gus Ramsey. And so, backstory, him and Gus worked at ESPN together. So Gus had thrown my name out there when he noticed that Jerry had a position. And so Jerry started talking to me, and then he asked me, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to get an opportunity here as a sports reporter.
Right.
Then he throws in, he's like, would you be interested in being a sports director? And it doesn't happen. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, everything I've been told, you don't go from never having been in TV. I had never stepped foot in a studio still at this point to being offered a sports director job. And I didn't know what it entailed. And I said, well, I'm interested. So we talked, finally got on some Zoom calls. They told me they want me to come in and revamp their sports department. The reason they reached out to me is they liked my experience in management, being able to facilitate a team, which is my background. So I felt confident in that, but I still had no idea what I was going to do as a sports director. And I talked to my wife about it. The offer wasn't great. Like, I'll be honest with you, we're not here for money. Like, this is not a job that's going to make us rich. And so, but I felt like it was the right opportunity. Talked to my wife about it, said yes, and then accepted the job. And, I told him I needed 6 weeks to kind of get my things in order. And every week for 6 weeks, he called me. Are you sure you want to come to Albany, Georgia? You come from California. Are you sure you're coming? Like, because he wasn't even sure. Like, why is this guy taking this job? Right. Because he thought, like, you're crazy for leaving that. And I kept telling him, I'm a man of my word. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'll be there. And so 6 weeks went by. My wife and I drove across the country in a Hyundai Elantra that I bought.
How many days it took you to get here?
We did it in 3. We stopped in Palm Springs. We stopped in Texas.
Not bad.
And then we were here. So, but yeah, I bought a little Hyundai for like $1,700 just to drive it out here. It broke down the minute we got here.
Okay, wait, at least you got here though.
We got here, and then the alternator went out.
Oh my God. So what was your first experience of actually, seeing the town of Albany? Like, when you first drove in here, because Morgan said she got here on a Sunday, so nobody was here.
Yeah, I think I got here on a Sunday too, and I started work that following day on a Monday. I'm not like most people, man. I find the beauty in everything. So when I drove through, I heard, first thing I did was Google Albany, and I'm crime rate this and that, and then I'm driving through. Yeah, there's a lot of empty buildings and stuff when you're driving down North Slappy. The hurricane, the COVID happened. It didn't affect me at all. It didn't bother me. I thought it was just another town. I had seen towns in my hometown that looked just like it. It never really even registered in my mind that this could be a place I didn't want to live. This could be bad for me. I just knew this was an opportunity, and I was going to embrace it. And so I think coming into it with that positive mindset, though, I think that laid the foundation for me to enjoy Albany as much as I have and not think about the negative things that are here, because I don't care where you live, man. There's negative things. You can be in Hollywood, LA, Beverly Hills. There's something negative about that place that we might have to experience. And I think it's all about your perspective. And that's kind of the way I live my life. I'm a positive person. I don't want negativity in my life. And so when I came here, that's what I focused on. And I tell you, that first day, it was interesting. Now, mind you, I was leaving my family behind. My wife came with me, but I had a son as a senior in high school, so I left them. My 3 kids and my wife, I left them for a year. That was the hardest part of making that move, was not having them here with me. That was tough.
So, like, when you're finally getting boots on the ground, you're getting a little comfortable with WLB. So, I always ask a lot of reporters the day-to-day. So, as a sports director, your day-to-day as a sports director, so how is it? Can you give me a day-to-day?
This isn't normal, but I'm going to start with my first day because, again, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. But my first day happened to be the first day on air. I did not know I was going to be on air.
Literally on air.
Again, I had never been in a studio. Right. When I tell you I didn't know how to set up a show, I used Rundown Creator. Of course, they're not using Rundown Creator. They're using EMPS, right? So I had never seen anything, and Keyshawn Ward, who was here at the time, he was on vacation. Kyle, who was here before me, he was out. So I come in and they're like, hey, are you comfortable going on air the first day doing sports? We're the bottom of the barrel. It's 2.5 minutes. It's right. They're not worried about it. I said, yeah, I'm ready. I wasn't going to show no weakness.
Of course.
But I was panicking. I sat there at my desk and I'm like, how do I even start? Like, where do I even start? So I just called Keyshawn up. Never met this man before, but I hadn't seen his stuff, and I just called him up. I'm like, hey, Keyshawn, I just started today. I know you're off. are you around to like help me? Like just give me some guidance and kind of show me where it starts. So he came up to the office and kind of showed me the rundown and stuff, put together a little show. And I went on camera, and I tell you, when I still have this video. I watch it a lot because it reminds me where I started. And I just felt so stiff and reading off the prompter like this and but it was a good learning experience to just get thrown in the fire. And that's kind of how I learn anyways. So I learned there. That was my first day. Like, okay, this is going to be different. You got to get it all in time. But since then, if I was to lay out what my day looks like right now,
I know you got to run after this. That's why we in suits.
Nah, I mean, I got a show I'm doing later tonight, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know many people, and I take a lot of pride in this. And the one thing I'll say about myself is I work hard. I'm working football season. I'm 15 to 18 hours a day. And it's not asked of me. It's not required of me. It's just who I am.
Right.
So I wake up, I'm on a 9:30 editorial call with the newsroom just to hear what's going on in the newsroom. Right. I usually get to work about 10:30. 11 o'clock. I try to get there a little earlier than that. I'm just setting things up for the week. Locker room report on Friday nights, sports talk on Thursday nights. What our weekend plans look like? Are we going to Georgia? Are we going to Florida State? Are we going to the Falcons game? We got Thomas U, Valdosta State, Albany State, like all these different schools. Where are we at this week? I'm setting a schedule for my shooters to go out on Friday nights. I still have to prep the 6 and 11 for that day. We have promotional shoots for team of the week, player of the week, coach of the week that I have to go out and shoot. So I'm driving to Clinch County. Yesterday, for instance, I go to Clinch County, stop by Berrien to catch a softball game, to come back. I already had pre-recorded the 6, and then I got to anchor the 11. And then after 11, I'm clipping stuff for websites. I'm not leaving the office until 2:30 in the morning. And every day is different. So it's hard to say, like, this is what I do every day. But every day is different. A typical Wednesday night, just a regular Wednesday night like last night, I was in the office by 10:30, and I'm leaving by 2:30 a.m.
And I kind of want to get the Snooty crew you to answer this question for me. I know there's a lot of different ways for you to report. You can do it in studio, you can be live, or you can be in the field, doing it, making it PKGs that way. Which one is your favorite and why?
I have an affinity for both. I kind of like the studio stuff when it comes to like growing up on ESPN and watching the studio shows and delivering highlights and talking and analyzing stuff. But one thing I learned really quickly growing up in that setting was very different than the local setting. I have come to absolutely love being in the community. And so you will see most of our stuff is look live packages, or even if it's we're recording so we can go out and be somewhere. And that's one of my biggest things is I've kind of stressed to our team is I want to be visible. And it's not because I want to be famous. I want the community to know that I care about Johnny, that's a 9th grader that's, has the opportunity to play football and maybe get a scholarship. I care about, Tiffany, who's a softball player who's maybe not being recognized because she goes to a small school, or the private schools that get no love, or the 8-man football schools at Sherwood Christian, So I treat all 54 schools. That's right, 54 high schools.
That was literally my question. How many schools do you got to cover in this area?
54 high schools between 3 people, between me, Morgan, and now Mackenzie Blaze, previously Janier, and then previously Keyshawn.
Shout out Janier.
Yeah, we do miss her already. 54 high schools, and we cover each one with the same mindset. I know people don't feel that way. I get comments and Instagrams and Facebook like, you don't go to this school and you don't go to... I promise you, I don't see class. I don't see Lee County being better than Doherty schools, or Doherty schools being better than Sherwood Christian, or Sherwood Christian being better than Crisp. I do not care. I'm not from here. I treat every school the same. I give it everything I have. We try to cover every school as much as possible, but there is only 3 people. And I hope that reflects on the work we do. And most of the time, the feedback is positive, and I do take great pride in that we continue to show all of the schools in a positive light. And like I said, I'm a positive person, so we try not to be negative around here.
Everybody, this is Snooty Lounge Podcast, and I'm with my special guest, Aaron Meaux, and we are talking about WALB 10. But I kind of want to talk about one of your teammates, Morgan Jackson. She kind of... I did a little research. She kind of, gave me the 411 on you a little bit, but
she gave you 411 on me.
Of course, she.
I'm scared to hear this.
She got some dimes.
I'm scared to hear this.
Okay,
I'm scared to hear this.
Now, since when I spoke to Morgan yesterday, she did tell me you're very passionate. very cool under pressure. If it's something that need to be done by 11, you're cutting the highlights by 10:25. Got to be on there by 11. Like, you're always calm, cool, and always make it happen. Where does that come from, you being just cool like that?
I think my level head, a lot of it, I give credit to my dad and my mom. Like, I'm a pretty grounded person. I'm fortunate enough to have both parents in my life. They've been married 44 years.
Amen.
Two contrasting styles of parenting, but I think it blended well and it worked. So I start with the foundation of just who I am, and that's because of them. My dad coached me my whole life. I think that helped me having just somebody that instilled discipline in me, but also growing up playing sports, man. I tell people all the time, I don't care if you're good or bad at sports.
Right.
You can be the best player or the worst player. I encourage sports because it teaches you a lot of different life skills and how to work together and just be disciplined and deal with moments. And those moments you're talking about, I want the ball in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I've played basketball, and I'm not a good basketball player. I know you saw me at the All-Star game drain one of them threes on you, but but listen, I'm not really a good basketball player. But I used to play in rec leagues even as a young adult, and I would go 0 for 15 from the three-point line, and we'd be down by 2 with 10 seconds left. I want the ball, and I would go make the shot. And it's not because I was good, or it's just because I don't really fold under pressure. I've been in some high stressful moments in my life, and I just thrive in it. So when we get a locker room report Friday night, I know people see the finished product, but people don't realize how much stress that is. When I'm getting 15 highlights from 15 different people, and I got to cut all the video and write all the scripts and put it all on the show, and we're live, and they're telling you, hey, 2 minutes, and we have 6 videos we're missing. Everybody's like running around the office with their head cut off, and I'm like let's chill, let's do this. And so in those moments, my brain slows down. I take my time, and I just think at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen? Like in these moments, like, is this life or death? Number one, what's the worst that could happen? And how is panicking going to be beneficial to me in this moment? It's not. So I think about those things. So I'm able to slow down my brain, and it just works. She's right. I am a very cool under pressure guy.
She didn't do you dirty.
I do cut highlights very close.
Okay.
It'll be 11:30 or 11:15 that I'm supposed to be on set, and it'd be 11 o'clock and there's nothing in my there'd be nothing in my show. And people be like, Aaron, you're not gonna put nothing. I'm like, relax, I got this. Like, I've gotten to a routine where I know what I'm doing, and I've been thinking about it all day. So people might think there's nothing in my show, but in my mind I already said, oh, it's VO side on cam, full screen. Like, I know in my head what I'm putting in there, so I just and it's done. So it's just my workflow, and I don't knock anybody that has a different workflow that needs to come in early and do something. But for me, it works, and I take great pride in the fact that I'm able to be calm and cool under pressure.
Okay, she did say one thing that she did get you on one thing. She said you eat everything unhealthy. Is that true?
I do what?
Eat everything unhealthy.
Did she call me Big Back?
I didn't say Big Back, but she did say you like to eat Big Back type of teams. She you're a foodie though. You like to travel and eat good.
I love food, and I'll tell you this: it's good food or bad food. To be honest, I appreciate food.
Don't on Fridays when y'all like do y'all live shots, y'all be at a restaurant.
Yeah, that's her idea though. Don't let the Big Back fool you. You're talking about me. Okay,
that's her. So put that Big Back on her.
Her idea was to go to a local restaurant, which I thought was a great idea.
Right.
I mean, we can get into Morgan and what I feel about her, but she came up with the idea in the hometown tailgate. We almost had to steal your name, the tailgate talk, and then I had said, no, we can never take Rodney's name. So we changed it to hometown tailgate, and her idea was just go to a local spot that's been in the community for a long time, and let's do our pregame stuff for our game of the week there. And this year I said, hey, why don't we reach out to the owners and just say, hey, offer us your best dish. We'll try it on air.
Right.
We'll promote your business, and we get to eat.
Yeah.
So
for the free ski.
Yeah, for free. but the communities have been great. We've been to a lot of places already, and the owners of these restaurants and these places have been wonderful. We love giving them promotion because we want people to support the local businesses. So that is something that we do. But I do love food. And, as a sports reporter, you on the go.
Yeah, we don't eat really too well.
In South Georgia, everything is an hour and a half away. All of our schools, outside of the Doherty school. So we're here, there, I'm on the road. And when you're on the road, what do you get? Fast food. So I'm always at some fast food spot, especially during football season. Yeah. Now, when we're on the off season a little bit, my wife cooks, so I do get food. I don't eat everything bad, but I do like my sweets.
Okay.
I do like sugar.
Okay.
And I go through spurts, man. I'll be honest.
Right.
I'll go through a month, 2 months where I'm eating healthy. and then I'm right back eating unhealthy again for a couple months. Like I when I start to feel bad, that's when I change up.
But she did want me to tell you thank you for letting her, you let her do her ideas. She signed up her podcast and all that. So from her to you, and I guess I'm the third party member.
She told you to tell me thank you?
Yeah.
She didn't want me. Oh, no, I'm playing. Honestly, Morgan thanks me all the time. Morgan, she tries to be a little rough, but I'll tell you, she's been truly a blessing. She is my right-hand woman, right-hand man, right-hand woman, because she has the similar work ethic to me, and I respect anybody that works hard like I do. And so we kind of started at the same time. And I did watch your episode with her, and she talked about her first day meeting me. Mm-hmm. And she said, Aaron said I was rude or I came off strong.
Clear that up.
And I'll tell you, yeah, she came off strong.
Oh, never mind. Don't clear it up. Keep the hair the same.
No, she came off strong. But it didn't bother me because I was still trying to learn myself.
Right.
And it was, we both were learning at the same time.
Yep.
And we talked about that the other day, just what we did the first year, we don't even remember. Like, it just flew by. We were just getting things done. And she was a huge help when I was going back and forth to California. A lot of it was left on her,
right. And
she just embraced it. I don't think we could do the things at our station if she hadn't been like right there with me the whole way. And so I've been trying to keep her for as long as possible. I know bigger and better things are ahead for her, but I truly do love her. She's like a little sister to me. And I try to, encourage her to do big things because I know she's going to do great.
And my last question on this WAB thing, one of my partners want to ask you this. How's Yolanda? Everybody think Yolanda is a mysterious lady. She been here since I was a kid.
I love Yolanda. Yolanda Amadeo is one of the nicest women that I've met. She is a strong Black woman, right. And can sometimes maybe come across as intimidating if you don't know her. Right. And I think when I first started there, I'm like, oh, who's this lady? Like, she seems strong, but I break down walls. So I'm not afraid to break down walls. And I think I've been able to like get through some of her walls, and whether they're walls on purpose or not, I think it's just who she is. She is a sweet, genuine, caring, loving, cares about this community type of person. And the things that she's done for people, you will never even know. You will because she doesn't want the recognition. Right. And so you'll see sometimes on set, if she looks like we trying to give her little flowers and she looks a little off, it's because she doesn't want to be recognized for it. She does it in silence. And there's something powerful about people that do it that way. But she's a very, very giving individual, and nothing but respect for her and what she's just looking up to her and seeing her and watching her work. Right. It's been beneficial to me. I'm
a big fan of Yolanda, by the way. I always seem to got the word right when I was a kid, but I want to let you leave with this. I mean, I know you want your legacy. What do you want your legacy when somebody reading your book in maybe 30, 100 years from now? What do you want them to be able to read on Aaron Meaux?
Oh man, I don't really think about legacy much, to be honest. I don't want to say I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of guy, but one thing I will say is this industry is extremely small. You know this. Everybody knows everybody. What we do, you'll see now, anybody can do it. And I don't take that for granted. I know everybody can throw up a camera, talk about sports, and everybody's doing it now. This space is extremely saturated. I think what separates individual talent is identifying who you are and being authentic to that. It's one thing I respect you for. I think you're an authentic individual, and I respect authenticity. It's kind of who I am. I try to be the same all the time. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. Yep.
No matter when I see you in the field or wherever, you always, what's up, big dog, dap me up. Any questions I need to be answered, you got me. Even if I call late night, you picking up.
I love this space that we're in. I do everything I can to uplift student athletes, because we see over and over again the negative connotations and the negative discussions around young athletes. And whatever the reason that is because of fame, success, money, not having a support system. I want to highlight the positive stuff. So I will say that I just want people to know me as a hard worker, somebody who's authentically him, a truth teller, and somebody that embraces just life. And I don't care where I'm at. I don't care what kind of day I'm having. If you see me at Walmart, if you see me at my kids' games, like, I will always stop and have a conversation.
Tell them the Cowboys suck too.
And I love the debate. I don't debate as much with fans anymore. Now that I'm in this space, it's a little bit harder. But I just love like people in those engagements, because I am very much an introvert when I'm not around this.
Right.
And so I take great pride in that. And I just want people to know that they can look at me and say, and somebody that I got to talk to, he was cool, and we kept it pushing. And hopefully I leave my lasting mark here in Albany, because this was my first start, and I'm hoping to stay a while. And but I wouldn't be able to do any of it without the foundation I come from, my family, my wife, my kids. Most supportive wife ever. If I don't say her name on this podcast, she gonna hurt me. But she truly is the rock, because 18 hours a day and you're not seeing your significant other at all throughout the week. It takes a special person to be able to put up with that, and she does that. So,
Aaron Meaux, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you
for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I know you got a son also who playing in Hawaii right now.
Yeah, my son is playing baseball at D2 Hawaii Pacific. He's
give him a shot. What's his name? Put a shout out there.
Noah. He's out there doing his thing. He'll start his first year at HBU this year. He's a pitcher. Played baseball his whole life, and a lot better than I was. Let's just say that.
Stay being great, man. Thank you
yes,
so
sir.
much.
Appreciate you
for sure.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Snooty Podcast.